Well, we're continuing our series on USM Tech Thursdays, and we're still at the Thad Cochran Marine Aquaculture Center in Ocean Springs, talking to Megan Gimma, who is the hatchery manager of the oyster program. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you involved in working with oysters.
So I am, like you said, Megan Gimma, and I started working with the TC Mac back in 2018. I initially started working in Louisiana with oysters, and that was my first experience with oysters. I wanted to continue my research role with oysters and just helping the industry kind of progress here in Mississippi.
Do you eat oysters?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, certainly.
Cannibal.
Some of them that I raise.
Some of them that you raise.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah.
Tell us about the technology you use here. I mean, this tank here has how many larvae in it?
So this tank that's behind us has 141 and some change million oyster larvae that we just produced today on site. So they haven't quite hatched out. At the end of this run, we hope to harvest around 20 million out of this tank.
Now, what do you do once you get these? Where do they go?
Yeah, so we have several different objectives. We have our commitment with the state, so the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and they use the larvae to create artificial reefs, so spat on shell. And then we have our research commitments, which we are looking at all sorts of improvements in technology, research for ocean acidification, and then also workforce development. And then our third objective is working with the industry. So they come here, they learn from us, they're involved with projects, they collaborate with us, and the goal is to transfer the technologies that we're improving here to the industry so they can continue to grow.
What does this do for the community or the blue economy health of the community?
Yeah, so with the blue economy, the goal is to produce a sustainable and a responsible resource, whether it be for food or to increase the economic value that we have here on the coast. And so specifically with the oyster community, they have identified bottlenecks that are hindering or causing them to not to progress in the industry. So we do research on those, answer those questions, but then more broadly, we're putting more oysters back in the water. So oysters can filter up to 50 gallons of water per day. So if you have millions of oysters out in the water, they're filtering millions of gallons of water every day.
Well, you would think that would make our beaches a lot clearer down here as far as the water.
They're working on it. We're trying to get those numbers up so we can.
Why did you decide to do this kind of research?
Some of those reasons that I mentioned was, I came from a farming community, so food security is really important. This is a great resource of protein, but then also the economic stimulus that it creates from the farmer who's producing them to the restaurants, distributors, and just kind of making sure that we're increasing that, but then also the environmental implications. So like I said, putting more oysters out in the water is creating a cleaner water, but then also we all like to fish.
Yes,
and
we
so fish love oyster reefs.
How often do you go out and dump these?
So we're producing these about every 2 weeks for the months of April to October. And so we are giving eyed larvae to the state once a month, and then the other production may be going to industry or for research.
Megan Gimma, Director of the Fish Hatchery,
yes,
over the bipeds.
Yes.
Over the bipeds here at the Thad Cochran Marine Aquaculture Center.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a mouthful. But if you ever get a chance to, if you want to find out some more information about this, how you can get involved with it, great things that are going on, and we have more coming up here for another edition of USM Tech Thursday. Well, as we continue our series here on USM Tech Thursday, we're talking to Ilaro Nortz, Program Coordinator of Ocean Engineering Program at USM at Gulf Park. Ilaro, it's so nice to meet you, sir.
Hey, Jim.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, please, and what got you interested in working with that.
Oh, that has a little bit of a history from very young. I was considering either doing physics or doing marine biology. So I went with physics and ultimately studied optics. And then for my postdoc, I had the opportunity to take my optics in the ocean underwater. And that was just too good of an opportunity for me to pass up. So that's the route I took, and that brought me to ocean engineering eventually.
So what do you do here, and what kind of technology do you use?
So in my group, we have 2 autonomous underwater vehicles. Those are relatively small torpedo-shaped vehicles, which you program and send on a mission. and we develop new sensor systems for them. And one of the sensors we develop is a LiDAR system. That means we're using a laser to scan the environment, and we do it 360 degrees around the laser. So we really capture the entire space around the vehicle as it moves through the water, and we get the distance to objects, so we can identify maybe a broken pipeline or a sea mine or a lost object underwater. So that is what my group develops.
So it's not really like for spying on something, it's sort of searching for different things and finding any type of issues. So what actually does it do for the community?
Well, for the community, right here at the coast, we are very driven as a university to develop those autonomous platforms. And LiDAR is very energy efficient and can be miniaturized, much smaller than a sonar system. So they lend themselves much better for those autonomous platforms than traditional technology. And so if we want to build those platforms here, we also want to build the sensors which go onto those platforms. And then as an ocean engineering program, of course, I can get those knowledge to the next generation and then have them learn it here and then hopefully stay in the area and develop all the future of exploring the ocean.
Why would someone want to become interested in, besides you did at an early, be interested in this particular field that they offer here at USM? I mean, it's really intriguing, the science behind it.
But yeah, I would agree. I would not understand why somebody would not intrigued by it. I always tell people it's like selling vanilla ice cream on a hot summer day, because you get to go into the ocean, you get to engineer, you get to invent new things, you get to test them, and you have this fantastic community here. You can either be out in the field, you can travel the world, and then test your technology. So for me, it is really that there's no question why somebody would be interested in it. If you are only slightly curious about building things, then building things for the ocean environment, I think has
We've been doing Usm Tech Thursday for a few weeks now, and it's just been amazing to me finding out about the technology that you can learn and here in the marine field, the Marine Research Center, and Gulf Islands National Seashore, where we're over there looking at the hatchery and all the things going on there. Right. You know, I thought you go to USM, you know, you become a doctor or you might do something like this. But this is really amazing, the different types of technology that you can really move into. I mean, the science of the future is out there to hold on to and be a part of.
Oh, I would agree with you, and we are not very well known. So people are surprised to come down here and discover that we have all those opportunities right here at the coast. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about it and spread the word.
Thank you so much. Hiro Nort's the program coordinator of Ocean Engineering Program here at USM.